Hey everyone, I know you're probably up to your eyeballs in grant proposals and syllabi,
Always.
but seriously, who has time to write a stellar cover letter when you're juggling a million other things in academia?
Right.
So we're going to tackle that today.
Yeah.
We're diving deep into the world of cover letters for faculty positions.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Well, hopefully not too much ugly.
Uh-huh.
We've got some great excerpts from a guide on writing cover letters specifically for faculty jobs.
Yeah, this one's chock full of good stuff.
And we're going to unpack all the juicy details.
Sounds good. Let's jump in.
Let's do it. So, we're all familiar with the CV, right? It's like our academic highlight reel.
Our greatest hits.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the cover letter, that's where things get interesting.
Totally. It's where you get to go beyond the bullet points and tell your story. It's your chance to showcase the why behind your application.
The why.
Yeah. Why this position? Why this institution? Why now?
It's like the story behind the story.
Exactly. It's about weaving a narrative that connects your past experiences with your future aspirations and shows how this specific position fits into your overall career trajectory.
Okay, so we're talking about storytelling. But for an academic audience,
Right.
how do we craft a narrative that resonates with the hiring committee?
Well, a good place to start is by considering the key questions your cover letter should answer. Who are you as a scholar? What are you passionate about? What draws you to the specific position and institution? What unique skills and experiences do you bring to the table?
Yeah, those questions seem pretty straightforward on the surface.
Mm-hmm.
But I bet it's easy to fall into the trap of giving generic answers.
Oh, absolutely.
But-
That's why tailoring your responses to each application is so crucial.
So no more copy and paste.
Definitely not. Instead of just saying you're interested in teaching and research, go deeper.
Deeper. Okay, I like it.
Demonstrate a genuine understanding of the institution's values, their research strengths, their specific needs.
Like what? Have you read their strategic plan?
Exactly. Or explored recent publications by faculty, looked for news articles about their initiatives. This level of detail shows you've done your homework and you're genuinely invested in joining their community.
It's like showing up to a party and actually knowing something about the host instead of just showing up for the snacks.
Haha, exactly. You want to demonstrate that you're not just looking for any job, but you're specifically interested in this opportunity and what it offers.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But research takes time.
It does.
And time is something that a lot of academics are short on. But I can definitely see how it's an investment that can pay off big time.
Absolutely. It's about quality over quantity.
So once we've done our research and we're ready to start writing, the guide mentions some differences in approach depending on our field, right?
Yes. For those in the humanities and social sciences, a longer cover letter of 2 to 3 pages is generally acceptable.
2 to 3 pages. Wow.
But if you're in a STEM field, a more concise approach of 1 to 2 pages is usually preferred.
So length definitely matters. But regardless of the field, how do we actually integrate our research and teaching experience in a way that makes the committee sit up and take notice? What does talking about research goals actually look like in a cover letter?
It's about connecting the dots. Let's say you're a historian specializing in ancient Roman architecture, and you're applying for a position at a university known for its strong archaeology program.
Okay.
Instead of just listing your dissertation topic, highlight how your research on Roman construction techniques connects to their ongoing excavation of a Roman villa. Maybe you've developed innovative 3D modeling techniques that could be applied to their findings.
So it's about finding those points of connection.
Yes.
And showing how your work complements their existing strengths,
Yeah.
not just stating your interest in a vacuum.
Exactly. Show them how you can contribute to their ongoing work.
That's really helpful. Now, the guide also outlines a 3-step process for crafting our cover letter.
Yes.
And it starts with,
Having a strong CV, of course. That's your foundation. But it's just the starting point. Next, you need to dive deep into researching the position and the institution.
okay, research, got it.
Going beyond the job ad to uncover the unspoken needs and challenges they might be facing.
Okay, so research is a big theme here. But the 3rd step, identifying key skills, is a little less clear to me. What does that actually entail?
It's about thinking critically about what the department is truly looking for and then highlighting the specific skills and experiences you possess that align with their priorities.
Okay.
It's about showcasing your value proposition, demonstrating how you'll not just fill the role but contribute to their broader goals.
So it's not enough to just meet the basic qualifications.
Right.
We need to go deeper, show that we understand their needs and have the specific skills to address them. But with all this emphasis on research, how do we even find the time to gather all this information?
Networking is invaluable.
Network.
Yes. Reach out to colleagues in your field. Attend conferences. Maybe even request an informational interview with someone in the department you're applying to.
Oh, an informational interview.
Yeah, these conversations can provide a much richer understanding of the department's culture, their priorities, and research directions.
I can see how those informal insights could be incredibly helpful.
For sure.
And it shows initiative and genuine interest, which is never a bad thing.
Absolutely.
Plus, you get to ask questions that you wouldn't necessarily put in a formal cover letter.
Right. And it might just give you the edge you need to stand out in a competitive pool of applicants.
Okay, so we've talked about research, we've talked about networking, but the guide also mentions that a good cover letter goes beyond just showcasing our academic prowess. It's also about being a good colleague.
Exactly. Remember, hiring committees are building a team, not just filling a slot.
Right.
They're looking for individuals who will be valuable members of their community, someone they can collaborate with, learn from, and rely on.
Okay, I get that. But how do we convey that good colleague aspect without resorting to cliches like, I'm a team player?
Instead of generic statements, weave in specific examples that demonstrate your collaborative spirit.
Okay, like what?
Perhaps you've mentored junior colleagues, spearheaded a departmental initiative, or actively contributed to diversity and inclusion efforts.
So instead of just saying, I'm a great communicator, I might mention my experience leading a workshop on public speaking for graduate students,
Exactly.
showing I can help others develop their skills.
It's all about showing, not just telling.
Right. Those concrete examples speak volumes about your character and your potential to be a valuable asset to their community. It shows you're not just thinking about your own success, but about contributing to the collective good of the department.
Exactly.
This is all great stuff. But, there's a lot more to unpack when it comes to crafting those compelling cover letters.
Definitely.
So we'll be back to delve into those nuances in the next part of our deep dive.
And we're back, ready to dive even deeper into those cover letter nuances.
All right, so we've talked about the big picture.
Right.
But what about the nitty-gritty? Where do we actually start?
Well, one area that often gets overlooked is the opening paragraph.
The opening.
Yeah, it's your first impression, your chance to grab the committee's attention and make them want to keep reading.
Okay, so beyond Dear Hiring Committee, what makes a strong opening? Does it have to be super formal and stuffy? Because I'll be honest, I've spent way too much time staring at that blank page trying to come up with the perfect first sentence.
I hear you. It doesn't have to be stuffy at all. In fact, a little personality can go a long way.
Okay, personality.
Think of it as a concise and engaging elevator pitch.
Oh, an elevator pitch. I like that.
You want to quickly convey who you are, what you're passionate about, and why you're specifically excited about this position at this institution.
So, for example, let's say I'm applying for a position in digital humanities, which can be a bit of a niche field. How would I make that opening paragraph pop for a committee that might not be super familiar with my specific research?
You could start with a captivating hook that speaks to the broader impact of your work. Something like, I'm fascinated by how digital tools can make cultural heritage accessible to wider audiences, and I'm particularly excited by the possibilities of using virtual reality to bring ancient manuscripts to life.
Ooh, that's good. It immediately piques their curiosity and hints at your expertise without getting bogged down in jargon. You've shown them why your work matters, not just what it is.
Exactly. And from there, you can seamlessly transition into explaining how your specific research aligns with their departmental strengths and priorities.
Which brings us back to the importance of research.
Always.
It's not enough to just say, I'm interested in your university.
Yeah.
We need to demonstrate a deeper understanding of their values, their priorities, and how we as potential colleagues can actually contribute to their ongoing projects and initiatives.
You got it. The cover letter isn't just about you, it's about the symbiotic relationship you're hoping to build with the institution.
Symbiotic relationship. I love it.
You need to convince them that you're not just looking for any job, but that you're looking for this job at this place at this time.
It's like finding the perfect dance partner.
Aha, I like that.
They need to be compatible, share similar goals, and be able to move together in harmony.
Yes. It's about finding that perfect fit where both you and the institution can thrive and support each other's growth. And speaking of growth, the guide also mentions highlighting our potential for future collaborations.
Collaborations.
Yeah, which seems particularly important in academia where so much of the work is collaborative.
So how do we showcase that collaborative spirit in a way that goes beyond just name-dropping faculty we admire?
It's not about name dropping. It's about demonstrating your awareness of ongoing research projects and areas of shared interest within the department. So highlight specific faculty members whose work complements your own mention. Relevant publications articulate how your expertise could contribute to their ongoing initiatives. For example, if you're a political scientist specializing in international relations and you're applying to a university with a strong program in global health, you might mention how your research on conflict resolution could inform their work on health diplomacy.
Right, so it's about connecting the dots, showing you're not just coming in with your own narrow focus, but that you're thinking about the broader intellectual landscape and how you can add value to their existing strengths.
Exactly. And it's not just about research collaborations. Think about teaching collaborations as well.
Teaching.
Yeah, if the department emphasizes interdisciplinary teaching, highlight your experience co-teaching a course with a colleague from a different department. Or if they have a strong focus on community engagement, mention your work developing service learning projects with local organizations.
I'm starting to see how the cover letter becomes this tapestry, weaving together our skills, our experiences and aspirations with the institution's unique fabric.
I like that. It's a tapestry.
But sometimes I feel overwhelmed just thinking about all the research and tailoring involved.
I hear you. It can be daunting, especially when you're juggling multiple applications. But that's where having practical resources can make a world of difference.
Speaking of resources, I understand you have a fantastic one to share with our listener today. One that can provide the how-to in addition to the what and the why we've been discussing.
Yes. If you're looking for concrete guidance on structure templates and real-world examples, I highly recommend checking out academicjobs.com.
Academicjobs.com.
They have a wealth of resources specifically designed to help academics navigate the job application process.
That sounds incredibly helpful.
Yeah.
I remember spending hours searching for decent cover letter templates early in my career, wishing there was a one-stop shop for all things academic job related.
This is it. They offer cover letter guides, CV templates, and even sample letters from successful applicants, all tailored to different academic fields.
It's like having a mentor in your pocket, guiding you through the process and providing concrete examples to emulate.
Exactly. And while it's not a substitute for personalized feedback, it can definitely provide a strong foundation and boost your confidence as you tackle those applications.
So for all of you eager listeners out there, be sure to check out academicjobs.com. It's a fantastic resource for anyone navigating the academic job market, whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned pro looking for a fresh perspective.
Absolutely. And remember, a well-crafted cover letter can make a significant difference in showcasing your unique qualifications and ultimately landing that dream academic position.
This has been so insightful. I feel like I have a much better grasp on how to approach cover letter writing now. But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I'm curious, what are some common cover letter pitfalls we should be aware of?
Ooh, good question. There are definitely a few red flags to watch out for. And we'll dive into those potential pitfalls in the next part of our conversation,
And we're back for the final part of our cover letter deep dive.
where we'll be talking about all the things not to do.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground already.
We have.
But let's be honest, the academic job market is competitive,
Oh, it is.
and we all want to make sure our applications stand out for the right reasons.
Absolutely. And even with the best intentions, it's easy to make mistakes that can kind of backfire.
Totally. So let's talk about those mistakes.
Yeah.
What are some of the biggest cover letter blunders that you've seen? The ones that make you just want to shake your head?
Well, one of the most common and honestly the most frustrating is the lack of tailoring.
The lack of tailoring,
Sending out the same generic cover letter to every institution.
like a mass email blast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like going to a job interview wearing a t-shirt that says, "I'm just here for the paycheck."
Ouch.
Yeah.
Not exactly sending the message that you're genuinely invested in the opportunity.
Not at all. Remember, each institution, each department has its own unique culture, its own priorities, its own research strengths.
Right. So even if we're applying for similar positions, we need to take the time to personalize our cover letter,
Yes.
highlighting those specific aspects that really resonate with us.
Exactly. Show them that you know something about their programs, their faculty, their research initiatives. Prove that you've gone beyond just a quick glance at their website.
Show that you're genuinely interested in becoming part of their community.
Exactly. It's like the difference between a generic thank you card
Okay.
and a handwritten note that actually mentions a specific detail from the occasion.
Oh, I like that. It's the thought that counts.
It is. And speaking of personal touch, another common pitfall is being too vague or abstract.
Too vague.
Yeah. So no more hiding behind academic jargon and sweeping statements.
Got it. We need
Yeah.
to be specific.
Yes. While clear and concise language is important, you also need to go beyond vague claims and provide concrete examples to support your assertions.
So instead of saying, I'm a highly motivated and results-oriented individual, I should provide specific examples of how that motivation has led to tangible outcomes.
Yes. Don't just tell them, show them.
Okay, so don't tell. Give me an example.
Okay, so instead of just saying you're a good teacher, showcase a specific teaching innovation you implemented or share a positive student testimonial that highlights your impact.
Like my passion for student mentorship led me to develop a peer-to-peer learning program, which resulted in a 15% increase in student pass rates.
Now, that's a statement that's going to grab their attention. It's specific, it's quantifiable, and it demonstrates impact.
Love it. It's like the difference between saying I'm a good cook and actually presenting someone with a delicious, multi-layered cake that you bake from scratch.
Exactly. Okay, so we've talked about tailoring, we've talked about being specific and providing concrete evidence.
Yes.
Any other cover letter faux pas we should be aware of?
Are there any others?
Well, one more I'd highlight is negativity.
Negativity.
Yes. You know, it's tempting to want to vent about a difficult past experience or a less than ideal work environment,
Right.
but the cover letter is not the place for it.
So no bad-mouthing previous advisors or institutions?
Definitely not. Even if you have legitimate grievances, airing them in a cover letter just comes across as unprofessional,
Yeah.
and it can raise red flags for the hiring committee.
It's like going on a first date and spending the whole time complaining about your ex.
Haha, exactly. It's not a good look. Instead, focus on the positive having. Focus on your aspirations, why you're excited about this new opportunity, and how you can contribute to their community.
So to recap, we should avoid generic statements, be specific and provide concrete evidence, and always maintain a positive and forward-looking tone.
Yes. Perfect summary.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground today, from the big picture purpose of the cover letter to the nitty-gritty details of crafting a compelling narrative.
We have.
I feel like I've learned so much.
Good, I hope so.
But before we wrap up this deep dive, is there any parting wisdom you'd like to leave our listeners with?
Don't be afraid to let your personality shine through.
Oh, I love that. Because academia doesn't have to be all stuffy and serious, right?
Exactly. Your passion, your unique voice, your intellectual curiosity. Those are assets, not liabilities.
So if we have a quirky hobby or an unusual research interest, find a way to weave it in.
Within reason, of course.
All right.
But the point is, authenticity matters.
Yeah.
Let them see the human behind the CV.
Because at the end of the day, they're not just hiring a researcher or a teacher.
Right.
They're hiring a colleague, a potential collaborator, a member of their community.
Exactly. And a well-crafted cover letter, one that's both professional and personable, can really help you make that connection.
Well said. This has been an incredibly insightful deep dive. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us.
It was my pleasure.
And to all our listeners out there, remember, you can find more tips, templates, and even some inspiration at academicjobs.com.
Yes, a fantastic resource.
So go forth and craft those cover letters with confidence.
Happy writing.